Hi everyone, this is a tutorial for how to enter data into Excel. Today we're going to be using the PHET simulation with the Pendulum Lab to collect data, enter it into Excel, and later on we're going to be graphing that data. So the first thing we need to do is we want to enter our headings for our data table. So in the far left hand corner, A1, we're going to enter the trial number. Okay, in the next column we're going to enter the length of the pendulum, and we want to make sure that we put our units in parentheses. The units need to go up here in the top. We can't enter numbers and letters if we want to process data in Excel. We can't mix the two. It's going to give us an error, and we're not going to get any good data back when we start trying to put equations in. So we want to make sure that we put our units up at the top. The next column is going to be the time for 5 cycles, and that's going to be in seconds. Our next column is for the period of oscillation. Which is also in seconds. And the last column is the square root of the length. And we can enter the square root, because I don't have a square root button, by going Shift 6, and it's going to give us a hat, the little caret. And when I raise that to the 1/2 power, when I take L to the 1/2 power, that's going to give me the square root of the length. Okay, so those are our 5 columns. You're going to be conducting a number of trials. So each time that you collect data, you're going to enter trial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then as you change the length of your pendulum, you're going to enter the length here, okay, in this column. So let's go over and look at the actual lab itself. Let me get bigger. Okay, here we go. So here's our pendulum. Let me get rid of this so I can walk you through it. We want to make sure that the length, you can see that as I move this little bar up in the top right hand corner, that the pendulum gets shorter and longer. I want to shorten it all the way. So we're going to move this length bar all the way to the left hand side. You can adjust the mass and make the mass larger or smaller if you want to. I'm going to make it really big. 2.1 kilograms. Okay, and then I'm going to go down here to other tools, and I'm going to bring up the timer. So when I click right here above the reset button, check this box, the timer appears. As I pull the pendulum back and forth, you can see that the degree pops up, okay, the angle that I've displaced the pendulum. I want to pull it back to 5 degrees, and I'm going to let it go. As it swings, it's going to go to the extreme right and the extreme left. Whenever it gets to the extreme right, you're going to hit start on your timer, and you're going to count 5 cycles. 1 cycle is one complete back and forth motion, so it goes all the way to the right, to the left, and back to the right. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to stop it. This is the time that it takes to complete 5 cycles. Okay, time that it takes to complete 5 cycles. So I'm going to go back to my Excel page. Time for 5 cycles. That was 7.65, and my length was 0.5 meters. So 7.65. The length was 0.5 meters. Perfect. You're going to do this for various lengths of your pendulum. When I hit reset, it stops moving. You're going to increase the length of the pendulum by 0.2 meters. So I'm going to go from 0.5 to 0.7. Make it just a little longer. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to record the time and enter it in my data table. Once I get finished with all of this, I'm going to come back to Excel. And so let's just make up some numbers. 1.5, or sorry, 0.7, 0.9, 1.1, 1.3, okay, and so on and so forth as the length goes up. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to just enter some fake numbers. I didn't go through and do each one. Let's just enter some fake. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. And what you're going to do to find the period of oscillation